Hi Ryan,
Hey Shoaib.
how's it going?
Oh, it's going well. How's it going for you?
Oh yeah, it's going great, man. Thanks. Tell me more about you.
So a little bit about me. My name's Ryan Glover. I'm originally from Frisco, Texas, subdivision or suburb outside Dallas. I am the wide receivers football coach here. Um, I graduated from Angelo State University, located in San Angelo, Texas, last May. I graduated there with an interdisciplinary degree, which is a triple minor. I did history, education, and kinesiology. Very simple degree, just to say that. I have a dog, I have a little brother, and then I have a family as well. Yeah, that's pretty much just the basic stuff.
Oh, what I hear from you is you are the fresher graduate from bachelor's and just got into master's of NYL.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah. So what made you come all the way from Texas to Midwest?
So, to be honest, I didn't choose the graduate program. The graduate program chose me, if you could say. So I applied to jobs for football, and say the inverse, they ended up calling me it was either June or late May, somewhere around there, and interviewed me, offered me the job. To be honest, didn't even look at the graduate programs, I just accepted the job. Little did I know after that there was only two, and I was like, definitely going with leadership. So that's how I got here for the program. Like I said, the program didn't choose, or I didn't choose the program chose me. So.
To me, that sounds interesting because it never happens. Because I chose to be in this program and then got a job. So wow. So tell me more about your job.
So a little bit about my job. Like I said, I'm the receivers coach here. What that involves with is basically the in and outs of everything. I do all the pass game stuff as well as the run game stuff for our offense. I'm also the JV offensive coordinator. So I'm in charge of all the guys that aren't on the varsity. So I'm a coach for both teams, JV and varsity, which gets pretty hectic, but at the same time, I love football, so it's something that's very awesome to do. Aside from football, with being a receivers coach, I'm also a assistant recruiting coordinator, assistant equipment manager. I'm the social media coordinator, and then I assist in the weight room. Going into all of that stuff, I really love the recruiting spot. That's one thing that made me want to be in college football, which is weird because most people want to do coaching and then recruiting. But with recruiting, I'm the out-of-state recruiter. So this year they sent me down to Texas, back to my home place, go Texas. And I had fun down there. I got 3 guys that are coming up here next year, so I won't be the only Texas guy now, so I'm pretty excited about that. But that's a little bit about my job.
So you told me that you are an out-of-state recruiter. So tell me more about you going to Texas. How was the trip?
So the trip was very awesome. I was down there for a week before Christmas break and a week after. I visited over, I'd say about 50 schools, maybe a little less than that. Met with over 150 kids in 2 weeks, so that's what's insane. And if you look at the numbers, I only got 3 out of 150, which is even more insane. But like with those numbers, that's how recruiting is. You have a bunch of schools in Texas, you have a bunch of schools that want to go down to Texas and recruit, so the numbers make sense. Now as far as how I enjoyed it, I definitely enjoyed it. I got to spend time with my family. Those are weeks that I didn't get to see my family per se, just because being so far away, my family can't just come up here whenever they want and drive the vehicle because they've got jobs as well. So probably my favorite thing about the recruiting trip was seeing my family and then also the recruiting on top of that.
Talking about family, I see that. I hear a lot of things from you which indicates me that you're missing your family. So what was the most thing you miss?
The mama's cooking, man.
Oh.
I miss her cooking, miss my dad's cooking, can't get wrong with that. The biggest thing I really miss about my family is we're really close. We go fishing, we go hunting, everything together. So that's something I kind of miss because you don't really, or I wouldn't say you don't see it in the Midwest, but it's not as big of a thing as it is in Texas. Like in Texas, once football season's done, you're going out to the deer blind and hopefully getting something. I'm gonna say kill because that's messed up. But I miss that. I also miss just being able to talk to him every day. Like I can talk to him on the phone, but it's not the same thing as seeing him in person. So I'm definitely looking forward to that next year when I go down there again as well.
So, do you have any plans to move back to Texas?
Whew. First job I get back to Texas, I'm going down there. You can expect it. I miss Texas. I'm a Texas boy, Texas forever. And with saying that, I think it's like where I'm from, the culture I'm from. Do I love it out here? I do like it out here. But I'd like to be closer to home, closer to family. Basically just being a Texas boy again. So that's one of my things.
Wow. It sounds to me like you miss many things about your family and Texas, and you want to go bad, and you just want to leave. So tell me more about what's your goal in the future?
So my ultimate goal, I'll start with that. My ultimate goal is to one day be a position coach or an offensive coordinator at the University of Texas. That's my ultimate goal. Now my goal right now, and leading on, is I just want to be a college football coach, helping young men become grown men. Like I want to see them at 18 years old as a freshman to when they're 22 as a senior, and you've seen the difference that they've made. Now, speaking like from my goal like 5 years from now, I want to be in a Division II school. I was at a Division II school before this. I love the structure. I love that you're not recruiting for numbers. You're basically recruiting the same as D1. You want the talent, and then if you're not good enough, boom, you're gone. So that's one of the things I really miss about that. But my goal that I have is, like I said, to mentor young men into becoming grown men, and then also be an offensive coordinator wherever that spot will be in the future. And then, like I said, my ultimate goal, hopefully, be at the University of Texas.
Sounds to me that you are all set to go back to Texas. And could you tell me more about the program you are in?
Like the graduate program?
Yes.
All right, so the graduate program I'm in right now is Masters of Organizational Leadership. And I'll be honest, when I first got in here, I didn't know what leadership, or I thought I knew what leadership was. It took me till December to finally get rid of what leadership is and start learning something else. So I'm still learning right now, but what's interesting is I'm learning something new at every class. But one thing I really like about it is I've also brought this to the football field as well, and also my everyday life, and teaching people, not just like them, like teaching them, but also teaching myself. Like I need to listen to them more. I need to interact more and not be so negative sometimes and all that. So.
Could you tell me one thing so far you have learned from your master's program?
Oh, one thing I've learned is communication. Communication is key. Just like we're having right now, if you don't communicate with your guys or communicate with people around you, you kind of lose that sense of like trust. And, so that's one thing I've learned, and also with this leadership program, I've learned like what good leadership is and what bad leadership is. And the bad leadership I've seen is something I don't want to do. And so I have a notepad next to me where I always write stuff down. I'm like, hey, I don't want to do this at my next job. I do want to do this at my next job. So I always look back at that, and like I said, this leadership program has helped me into who I am becoming. Not who I am yet, but who I am becoming.
Yeah, it sounds to me that there's a lot of learning you're going through and a lot of change. As you mentioned about leadership, definition of leadership, and what was the thoughts on leadership. You have been, you flushed everything out and got into a new whole perspective of leadership. So getting to that, could you please mention me one more thing that made you concentrate on or consistent about learning leadership?
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
So one thing that I have consistently learned about leadership would have to be, that's a really tough question. There's a lot. One thing I would say is multi-directional, for one thing, and I know we talked about that today. Being multi-directional, you can't just be set on one thing. I think that's something that people, it hurts them in their everyday lives, is because they're not thinking, hey, if this doesn't work, well then this can work. And so what I like about leadership and being multi-directional, like Rose explained, is, hey, I can do multi-things. So that's something I kind of use. So, like for instance, in practice, if a receiver goes down, well, boom, I can put him in. Well, if he gets hurt, boom, I can put him in. And let's say this dude doesn't show up to practice. Well, boom, I already know what I'm doing, but it may look like I'm only thinking one thing, but I'm thinking multiple things. So I kind of look at that. Multi-directional is also opening up to your players. I ask my players a lot of questions, what we need to get better at. And because when I first got here, I'm doing this my way and no one else's way. Now I'm actually listening and going ways that I never thought I'd be going, but I'm going that way and to help our players.
Yeah, sounds to me like a lot of implementation of what you have learned during leadership classes. So yeah, I mean, thank you for all of your learnings and stuff.
Thank you, sir.